Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one, and welcome back to a game of throws in World of Warships with Rear Admiral Jingles. We're on the Tears of the Desert map, but it's a standard battle this time, so 2 bases / cap circles, no actual cap circles in the domination mode sense of the word.
Battle starts.
Not the most popular of battle modes, but it is what it is. You have to play the hand you're dealt. And the fact that this is a standard battle rather than a domination battle is going to be very, very important later on. Today's hero... Sorry. It's one of the best names I've seen in a very, very long time. I'll try to repeat the name without bursting into laughter. I've already failed. This is Clapping Femboy Cheeks 69. In the Italian Tier 10 battleship, the Christopher Colombo. Clappen is from Romania, and she never claims to be the world's greatest player, but honestly she doesn't make too many mistakes in this battle. Nevertheless, this battle is not about her, it's about somebody else. Well, I mean, you know, obviously, if it's not about her, it has to be about somebody else. I'll keep you guessing though, but don't worry. When the moment arrives, you'll know. So, standard battle, Tears of the Cruisers map. I don't actually think this map is as bad for a cruiser in standard battle mode than it is in domination mode because of the placement of the capture circles or control points. The cruisers do have a little bit more wiggle room, a bit more options. It's still not a great map for cruisers, but, well, I'm sure Clappen doesn't give a shit. She's in a very, very strong battleship. Shots out with the old 16-inch semi-armour piercing. 16 guns on this thing, by the way. Extremely heavy weight of fire. Against the enemy Adatara, the Japanese battle cruiser, who is, of course, firing high explosive against battleships. That's a lot of torpedoes.
Problem solved, sir.
I think we might have found one of the enemy Shimikazes. Oh, in fact, yeah, he did momentarily get spotted. He's immediately gone unspotted, of course, which is less than ideal. Yep, multiple walls of skill, and there he is again. Ducking it to cover behind the island. It looks like he's getting away with it scot-free. Oh well, never mind. So, Italian battleships in general, and the Christopher Columbus in particular. Semi-armour piercing ammunition. It's kind of like the high explosive ammunition on British high-tier battleships, where it's just so good that you don't really usually ever need to switch to armour piercing. Even in situations where the armour piercing would be better, you can generally just get away with spamming that one choice of ammunition. High explosive in the case of British battleships, and extremely large calibre semi-armour piercing in the case of Italian battleships like the Christopher Colombo here. Unlike Japanese battleships like the Adatara over there, which do benefit from switching between high explosive and armour piercing where appropriate. It's difficult to call because it is still early days, but the Adatara is given every impression of being a high explosive spamming noob, because that's all they've been firing so far. I mean, I get it, sometimes a battleship anticipating seeing an enemy destroyer first at the beginning of a battle will switch to high explosive. Or maybe in the last battle they played in that ship, the only things left on the enemy team at the end were destroyers, so they switched to high explosive there. The game does remember the last ammunition type that you had loaded on the ship that you played in the last battle it was in. Well, there it is. I was wondering when she was going to switch to the Ibuki, and she did, just a little bit too late, before somebody else capitalised on the fact that that thing has armour that's made of crushed hopes and dreams. And there's the Shimikaze again. Can somebody please shoot that thing? Ah, don't worry. I'm sure allowing a spotted Shimikaze to get away without getting shot at isn't going to come back and bite anybody in the arse later on in this battle.
I need your support. I need intelligence data.
Oh, the one other thing you should probably be aware of, which isn't going to come as a surprise to anybody who's been following this game for, oh, I don't know, the last year, because that's probably honestly how long it's been broken, and since there's no profit in fixing the replay system, don't expect it to get fixed anytime soon. And yes, once again, The scores are reversed. It's very difficult to tell at the moment because it's a standard battle and both teams have suffered one casualty. Each team are down one cruiser. But trust me, the scores are flipped, so bear that in mind as well when we reach the end of the battle, because that's also going to be kind of important. Remember, in a standard battle, because both teams hold their own cap circle or base, it's more like World of Tanks in that respect, each team gets a couple of points every couple of seconds. As you can see, they're ticking out. It's only 2 points. It's not a lot. Now you can see straight away the enemy team just managed to kill another ship, so they've now gone ahead on points. The only thing that can stop you from accumulating points is, well, the battle ends, either because it ran out of time or all of your ships got sunk, or you get an enemy ship in your cap circle. When your base is being capped, you no longer receive points from it. That's going to be important towards the end of the battle as well. Now, things aren't going too disastrously badly here at the start of the battle. There's only a 1 kill deficit because it's not domination mode. Nobody has a cap circle advantage. And while the enemy team do have a 1 kill lead, their ships are taking a... no, I spoke too soon. Okay. While the enemy team do have a 2 kill lead and a 200 point lead thanks to those 2 kills, the enemy ships are taking a beating. It's not like Clappen's team are just taking this kicking lying down. Although it appears that she has decided, since nobody on the team, at least on this end of the map, seems to give a good shit about those enemy destroyers. It's not just the Shimakaze, by the way. There's a gearing over there as well. It's time to not be anywhere near the enemy destroyers. So she's heading towards the middle. Actually, possibly the other reason is she's looking at the enemy steamroller coming straight down the middle towards the friendly base. I mean, she's not the only one there moving into a position to prevent anything bad from happening. The Azuma and the Alaska are in a decent position to cover the base as well, although the 2 destroyers, the Yamagiri and the Halland, not so much. Although, you know what, chasing down a Jaeger is never a bad thing to do, so sure, we'll just leave them to it. This is also actually going to put them in a position, a very dangerous position for the enemy team, because if they can take care of that Jaeger, they will be behind that enemy line. So we'll leave the destroyers to do their thing. And no, your eyes are not deceiving you. She did just switch to 16-inch armor piercing to unload that salvo against the enemy. the enemy Takahashi. He's probably very upset right now. That was a very, very good shot. And a good decision as well. Nice to see. Straight back to the semi-armor piercing now, of course. Now she's got battleships to shoot at. You see, Italian armor piercing is not actually that good. It's fine for shooting at cruisers, usually. But if you're shooting at any kind of angled target, especially if it's a battleship, just use a semi-armor piercing. Hell, even a broadside, not particularly well-armoured battleship like an Adatara. I mean, sure, you might get massive numbers, but you'll probably just get a lot of shatters instead, so semi-armor piercing's just more consistently reliable. It's not unusual to score anything between 15 and 20. Oof, shit, that hurt. Oh, actually, this is kind of bad. See the problem here? She has to turn, and that means giving broadside to everything. And the Adatara has 16-inch guns, and they're all extremely accurate. Oh, this could hurt. No, we're fine. High explosive spamming noob confirmed. I mean, it'll hurt, but it ain't going to sink you, and it didn't even hurt that much. Single fire, no problem. Right. There's still only the 1 kill behind. And that big old second semi-armor piercing hit on the Adatara reduced it to low enough health. I mean, surely somebody's going to capitalise on that and sink it. Somebody just did. It looked like they missed. I definitely saw some armor piercing going in. Ah, crap. The team's just lost the destroyer. Preussen got a secondary kill. This has to finish off the Adatara, though, surely. Not before it gets some shots out. Yeah, got it. And oh, whoa, wait a minute. The team just lost another destroyer. Golden Lion just gunned down the Yamagiri. Preussen just got another secondary kill on the GQ Johnny. What the hell's going on? What's the deal with all of these destroyers getting themselves spotted and engaged in gunfights with cruisers and secondary spec battleships? Guys, seriously, cut that shit out. It's given the enemy a 3-kill lead. And a nearly 300-point lead as well. I mean, the points difference isn't that bad. It could have been a lot worse. It's just destroyers. Now, on the one hand, destroyers aren't worth that many points, but on the other hand, they're very, very useful to have. And now they don't. They've only got the one, the Halland. The enemy team still have 3 destroyers, and that was a very unfortunate place to put an island. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That moment when you're reversing off an island, you put the rudder half over, and then at the last second you realise, shit, I've turned the rudder the wrong way because I'm going backwards. Yeah, we've all done it. Pops the spotter plane because you can't see out of your own high-speed smoke, although it's not going to last much longer, so that problem isn't going to be around. Yeah, there it is. Oh. Okay. Well, you are kind of angled. That's the good news. The bad news is it's a Libertad, and its secondaries are even more dangerous than a Preußen. Switching to the armour piercing here. Although cleared the barrels of the semi-armour piercing that she had loaded, and it did a monstrous amount of damage. Here's the problem. Well, there's 2 problems. In order to get off that island, she's going to have to do broadsides of the Libertad. Yeah, I mean, she doesn't have to. She can just stay here, but there's a gearing and a Shimakaze closing in, and you don't want to be stationary in a narrow channel like this. Just waiting for the torpedoes. The second problem, and it's kind of true and also kind of not, because by the time the armour piercing was loaded, it's almost positive that the Libertad was no longer going to be given a nice flat broadside to aim at. And in fact it wasn't, but she anticipated that. She switched back to the semi-armour piercing, inflicted another substantial amount of damage on it, and now the Libertad isn't even shooting at her. Guns are pointing the other way, so what could have been a disastrous situation, and sure enough, torpedoes, that means either the gearing and or the Shimakaze have both turned up. And there goes the Libertad. Yep, multiple walls of skill. That's going to be it's probably the gearing and the Shimakaze, so very, very good to not be hung up in the channel between those 2 islands. Also, very fortunate that the Libertad, rather than shooting at a broadside Christopher Colombo, decided it wanted to shoot at a nose-in Frederick the Great instead. I mean, the Libertad was probably going to die anyway. It was it had managed to put itself in a crossfire between a pair of Tier 10 battleships, but, you know, shoot at what you can sink. That's rule number 1. Anyway, the Preußen has managed to finish off the Frederick the Great. I believe it took a torpedo, or possibly 3, from either the Shimakaze or the gearing, or maybe both. Either way, ouchies. There's only 3 of them left now. The Azima, Clappen femboy cheeks herself here in the Christopher Colombo, and the Halland. They are outnumbered 2-1. This is the very opposite of good. By the way, pop quiz. By show of hands, how many of you out there are actually trying to figure out, because this is an episode of A Game of Throws, so who's actually trying to figure out where and how the throw is going to occur? Do me a favour, pause the video now, go down to the comments section and type in your guess as to which of these 2 teams is going to throw and how they're going to do it. Most of you are probably going to be wrong. But I'd be real curious to see what your guesses are going to be. Anyway, oh crap, Hindenburg. That's not good. That's not good at all. High-speed smoke active. However, the problem with high-speed smoke, which is a very, very useful consumable on an Italian battleship, but in particular on an Italian battleship, there goes the damage control, it's reasonably easy to still score hits anyway, because it's fairly obvious which way the smoke is going, and you're a battleship, you're a huge target. And of course the concealment from the high-speed smoke only works as long as you're not shooting, especially when you're in a battleship with a battleship smoke firing penalty. However, they are kind of losing really, really badly. So I really don't think Clappen had much of a choice but try to take out the Golden Lion over there. Unfortunately, the Hindenburg managed to land a uncomfortable amount of 8-inch high explosive shells, which have set a double fire. Still a minute cooldown on damage control. You are dead, but at least you could take the Golden Lion with you. There was no recovering from that. With damage control on cooldown and a double fire set by the Hindenburg, you were always going to die. did at least manage to take the Golden Lion down with you. So now, team are still outnumbered 2-1. This time it's the Azima and the Halland versus 3 enemy destroyers. They've managed to kill the Preußen and that Hindenburg. And look at that wall of skill over there. Unfortunately, at least one of them hit the Azima. I think the Azima was the one that actually took out the Preußen. I'm not entirely sure, I can't remember. Doesn't matter. Because, oh, the Hindenburgs. Here's the thing. The Azima has the firepower. It's got big guns. But the Hindenburg can actually take a beating. It's got the armour. And it doesn't have small guns either. So it's just chipping away at the Azima with its terrible 25mm bow plating. The Azima is going to lose that fight. Which means it's going to be 4 against 1. I mean, the Azima's trying to heal. But the Hindenburg can easily out-DPS it. So the Halland is going, because there's a double smoke screen here. This is the gearing and the Shimakaze. You remember that Shimakaze, right? The one who was spotted earlier, over and over and over, with nobody shooting at it. And yep, the Azima has gone down. The Halland is now the last one left alive against 4 enemies. There's the Shimakaze. 1,300 hit points. Remember that. Imagine if just one person had opened fire on that Shimakaze 10 minutes ago when it had been spotted. It would be dead now, but we'll forget about the Shimakaze for the moment, because the Halland, last one left alive on the team, is now engaged in a gunfight with a gearing. He kills the gearing. Shots there from... wait. Armour piercing? Maybe that was the Shimakaze. I can't see a Hindenburg with 8-inch guns loading armour piercing to shoot at a Halland. Halland, by the way, making great use of the enemy team's smoke screens, because of course the Halland doesn't get the smoke screen consumable. It's clearly not anxious to accidentally run into a whole bunch of Shimakaze torpedoes. Where's he going? There's the Hindenburg. Oh, the Azima did a pretty good job, actually. I mean, it was clearly outclassed by the Hindenburg, but it managed to inflict... I mean, it wasn't alone, of course. Clappen managed to land a couple of hits on it. But either way, the Hindenburg is now a one-shot kill. And oh, look at this. Enemy started capturing the base. It could be the Yamagiri, but it could be the Shimakaze. I mean, the Shimakaze was certainly close enough and is a fast enough destroyer to have just made it to the cap circle. Why is the Halland heading away from the cap circle? Well, it's heading to the enemy cap circle. But, I mean, you know, the arithmetic here is not hard. If somebody starts flipping your base a minute before you start flipping their base, they're going to win. Because they started a minute earlier, and you both flip at the same speed. I mean, you know, the arithmetic here is not next level. Rocket science degree not required. Unless you can get a reset off, they're going to cap before you... Why are you heading for the... There's a destroyer. Okay, this is terrible. He's got the Hindenburg, and it's the Yamagiri. The Yamagiri is behind him. He kills the Hindenburg. So we now know for sure, since there's only 2 enemy ships left, and the only one that we can't see is the Shimakaze, is that the Shimakaze is the one in the cap circle. The Shimakaze on 1,300 hit points, who would have been dead if anybody had bothered shooting at it on the multiple occasions in which it was spotted 12 minutes ago, or if he'd chase after it instead of running up here to try to out-cap something that started flipping a cap a minute before he did. Now, while it is amazing that the Halland has just managed to win a gunfight against a Yamagiri and a Hindenburg at the same time, while also taking down a gearing, but a minute before that. I mean, that was incredible. Fair's fair. Credit where credit's due. That was a great display of skill from the captain of the Halland here. I'm not questioning his minute-by-minute performance. I have serious issues with his decision-making process, however. Because remember, if there's somebody in your cap circle, you stop earning points. And it didn't matter that he equalised the kills. That Shimakaze has been preventing him from gaining any further points for at least the last minute and a half. Which means he's 20 points ahead. And running into the Shimakaze's cap circle isn't going to change that. And now with less than 20 seconds to go, there is no way You're getting close enough. You could have chased after the Shimakaze when you initially spotted him and the gearing. It would have still been a tough fight, but you've displayed you've got what it takes to win in a tough situation. Unfortunately, being able to dish it out when you're under pressure and your back is up against the wall does not beat basic mathematics. And so despite what is an amazing performance, credit where credit's due, despite an amazing performance, the Halland somehow still manages to throw the game. Because apparently basic arithmetic is just too hard. And it was a great game from the Halland, whichever way you measure it. 1,500, nearly 1,600 base experience on a defeat is phenomenal. The Halland played an amazing battle, right up until the point when he didn't. And I feel a little guilty heaping this much criticism on the captain of the Halland, because it feels like one of those, you know, you just want me to do everything here. Maybe stick a broom up my arse and I'll sweep the floor clean while I'm at it. Resetting caps, taking caps, sinking the whole enemy team. Yeah, I get it, but, I mean, come on. The mathematics was not hard. It was fairly obvious what he had to do, and he kind of did the exact opposite. So yeah, I'm calling this one a game of throws. I'm sorry, but it just goes to show that even the best players can fuck it up from time to time. So the next time you're on the enemy team in one of my World of Warships videos, putting both feet in your mouth and doing the wrong thing at the wrong time, take some consolation, because even players who are significantly better than you still manage to fuck it up. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.